Hey guys, welcome to my other video. This is James. As you remember, I did yesterday part 1 about the geometrical fields and layers of a human being, which are invisible. And as you see, this today is part 2 about geometrical fields and layers. What you see, I added on a word called main because these are the main 3 layers, because I have just discovered and found out that there are actually at least 2 more, and I will come to that in part 3. But let's stick for now with these 3 main layers. So these 3 geometrical fields and layers, main layers, which is here the head part, the upper body part, and the leg and foot part. And when you watched the part 1 video about it, you know what I was talking about. So this is the part 2. So I prepared here something, as you see, that is, and I wrote something on it. You see a man, a human, he's standing, and you see a human, he's sitting, and you see a human, he's laying down. So these are the 3 most common posture. These are the 3 common posture of a human being: stand, sit, and lay, which you see here. Now, the reason why I'm showing you those 3 most common posture is all our interactions in our daily life are positioned in those geometrical fields and layers we are interacting. So, for instance, just giving a few examples, is when you sit, most activities what you do is you are on your computer, type something, or you at work in front of the computer and you type something, or you are in a restaurant and you eat something, or you're sitting in a car, or you're sitting with your friends together in the living room, etc. So these are the common interactions in our sit position. In our stand position, we have also a lot of things what we do when we stand, right? We walk while we stand. A lot of things when we stand. And or when you watch something and you have to be high enough, etc. Or when you open up the door, you have to it's mostly in a standing position. Or when you open up the window up there, you have to do it mostly in a standing position. When you walk, you're in a standing posture. And then we have here the lay position. Most of the time when you lay down is sleeping. So that's the interactions when you rest or when you sleep, or most of the time, right? So these are the 3 most common postures. Now, if we add in those 3 main geometrical fields and layers, which are invisible, but I make it visible because I'm going to draw on it, then you see that we have here the head level, the upper body level, and the ground level. So what you see here are those 1, 2, 3 main geometrical fields layers, which you've seen here in standing position, the head layer, the upper body layer, which you also experience when you sit on it, when you sit in this layer. And then we have the ground level, where when you lay down, when you sleep, and when you rest, and when you walk and do activities by standing, running, or walking. You have the standing posture position, and you have all these 3 layers included. When you sit, you only actually experience the first 2 layers, right, the ground and the upper body level. And when you lay down, when you sleep, you actually only experience the ground layer, geometrical field layer, and you don't experience the upper body level or the head level, because you, as you see here, you here on the first on the ground level. Now these are the layers, right? The geometrical fields and layers. Now if we look further on it, if we just draw kind of like a and this is in a side perspective right now, right? Side profile. So if we now would put if we would put now a box around it, another geometrical field layer, a box, a square, geometrical square, right, or rectangle, you see everything becomes more geometrical, right? So we got here the ground level, the upper body level, and the head level. And you see that in each posture you experience geometrical fields and layers, and it depends on what posture you are. Like if you stand, you experience all three geometrical fields and layers, which is the head layer, the upper body layer, and the ground layer. And when you sit, you actually experience only the upper body level and the ground level, and you not no more in the head level. If you're sleeping laying down most of the time and you rest mode when you sleep, you actually only experience the ground level, the geometrical field layer, the ground field layer. You don't experience the upper body and you don't experience the head level, right? And these are the three most common posture, and we are interact with things that are in our surroundings, like watching television, going to the grocery store, drinking a coffee, watching television, sleeping, take a rest, napkin, etc. So, as I told you many times, that a human actually represents 180 degree, or it's a line 180 degree. So same as here, so this is going to be also 180 degree also. Here's actually a 90, but I will come to it later. And here we got another 180 degree, and here he shortens itself to a 90 degree, but I think I come to that a little bit later. Perhaps I explained that in another video. So let me make the third person right here. So he's laying down. So anyway, what you also recognize is if we put down a diagonal, you see that we can actually form a triangle, right? You see that it goes down, right? It's actually like 180, 90, and then 45, so to speak. So what you see here very easy is that you see a triangle in our posture position that are involved in geometrical fields and layers. And yeah, I hope you see that. Let me make it black, maybe it's better to see. Alright, so that's how it is. Also what you see, let me make those layers a little bit over the rectangle. I noticed that I discovered two more layers, but I will come to that on the third part, but this is the second part. So these are actually the invisible geometrical fields and layers we always interacting with while watching television, sitting in our job on a computer, typing stuff in, we laying down, taking a nap, sleeping, etc. When we are in a standing position, posture, when we walking, when we running, and in each posture experience always those different kind of geometrical fields and layers, which is here the upper body, the head layer. This section is the upper body layer, and this is the ground layer, geometrical field, right? So also what you recognize is that the size of those postures is falling down. So for instance, from head to the ground, you see that distance is longer than this distance, right? And this distance is actually just this little bit, so it's a scaling between these vertical layers, where I will come to that also later. So these are, I'm talking about now the main geometrical horizontal layers, the invisible we are interacting with. I discovered two more, which I come to the part 3 video, and horizontal layers. So actually what you see here is that a human being always is interacting in geometrical fields and layers that are invisible. That might be very interesting in the future for technology purpose, or yeah. So so far by now is that, so let me summary all that together, is that we have 3 most common posture of a human being is the standing posture, the sitting posture, and when he is laying down, the posture. And in those different postures, they are experiencing it. Our interactions in our daily life, in our surroundings, in our things we interacting with in our daily life, watching TV, typing on a computer, eating in a restaurant, watching television, taking a nap, taking a rest, sitting in a group and discuss. We always have these 3 most common posture involved, which is if we lay down in geometrical fields and layers, we see the head level, which is right here, the upper body level, and the ground level. So these are the 3 main horizontal levels I've observed. That is, if we go more and more into it, you see that everything becomes really geometrical, and it's a fascinating thing, but not in an exciting thing. It's just like that. It's. I think we have to do a lot of research in that stuff, because it makes a lot of in a lot of things really sense, in technology, or we can use in the future for it, etc. And in the room we are interacting with, right? Like if we put all 3 postures close together, you see that we have, for instance, a different scale observation in the length. Also, we can lay down a triangle, and each room where you are, it doesn't matter, it's either a square or a rectangle. So you can see already that there's a rectangle and a triangle involved into it. So, and all those things we are interacting with, smartphone, watching television, eating from a plate, sitting on the table and eating dinner, and all the things we go on the shelf in the grocery store. So we all acting in those layers, in those 3 layers mainly, and they are positioned, these things, in our surroundings. So thank you for watching. This is the second part. I will do a third and a fourth part as well, to go on those other layers and go more into it in my series Minimalistic Understanding. Let me write down my name, James Paul Jakubczyk. It's my concept, design, and theory. And today is the 20th. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time.